What's up, guys? Specstar here today with the promotional finals for LD. Winner of this game is promoted from minors to majors, and my opponent here competing with me for the spot is Common. And whoever wins this game not only gets promoted, but they move on to the, I don't know what you'd call it, I guess the finals. The game after this, which is a battle for the championship and an invite. So there's potentially two very important games coming up if I am able to win this. But first, I've got to focus on this one here against Common in the promotional finals. And he's got himself a team consisting of Mega Lopunny. Unfortunately, that is not a regular Lopunny, which would have been nicer. Kyurem Black, Uxie, Klefki, Gastrodon, and Gligar. He went pretty damn fat, actually, considering how his team could have potentially shaped up, and that was an interesting thing to note. This matchup was, as Run DMC would say, it's tricky. Not an easy one for me. I had to get pretty creative with how I built my team. Generally, there wasn't a way for me to bring more of a balanced build and kind of win safely. I decided to go very offensive and try to overwhelm them with pressure. That was my strategy, kind of my way of dealing with what I consider to be a little bit of a crappy matchup. And I'm going to switch over here to my team and show you guys what I've got here for this key matchup. I've got, first off, a Mega Blastoise. Nothing too special about the EVs. HP, max special attack. Spin, of course. Spinning does its job. Dragon Pulse lets me hit Kyurem Black. The power difference between Dragon Pulse and Aura Sphere is the difference between potentially KOing it from full. So that was a relevant difference. Hidden Power Grass allows me to hit Gastrodon, which could otherwise be used potentially to try to wall this thing. And Water Pulse, just my favorite water move. It also frequently runs Hydro Pump and Scald. You don't know this if you just watch me use it, because I'm always running Water Pulse, but that's generally what I've liked in the particular matchups I've had. Next up here, I've got a Zygarde with Yachi Berry. This Zygarde's not really a win condition as you would think it would be. My plan for Zygarde is just to be an early breaker, which can kind of set up my other sweepers, which do have a better chance to completely clean the game. Nothing too special about this set at all, very boilerplate. I wanted to have max speed to make sure I tied with his Kyurem Black. Yachi Berry, speaking of Kyurem Black, allows me to take an Ice Beam from that thing, which is relevant. Next up here, I've got a Bulu, Scarfed, as was last time. Adamant Scarf, I've got enough speed to outpace an Adamant Mega Lopunny, because it may very well want to be Adamant in this matchup, and that's something I'd like to be faster than. Zen Headbutt on this thing allows me to hit. Don't crap on me now, brain. Victory Bell, which did not wind up coming, but I didn't want that thing to be able to solidly wall this, which it would have if I didn't have the Zen Headbutt. And to go with my Bulu here, I've got Hawlucha. Hawlucha had a pretty threatening matchup against my opponent here. I'm rocking Swords Dance, Substitute, which allows me to victimize potentially the Gligar. Acrobatics is just... Acrobatics and High Jump Kick, they pretty much speak for themselves here. I've got very particular speed on this thing. Oh yeah, I want it to be faster than Kyurem Black without a boost in case I had to bring it in without the terrain set. So that was something we're thinking about. Next up here, I've got my Nidoqueen. Yeah, I've got a fully physically defensive with a bit of speed for... Oh, my brain is the worst at memorizing, but it was definitely meant for something important, so you can take my word on that one. Oh yeah, no Speed Gligar, of course. Got Stealth Rocks, Earth Power, Ice Beam allows me to hit the Gligar, and then just dual stab kind of hits the rest of his team. And lastly here I've got the Cobalion with Sword Stance, Rock Polish, Dual Stab, and Steelium Z. This is one Pokemon that could also, it could either break for Hawlucha, or more likely Hawlucha would try to break for it. One of them's gonna have to look to be my win condition in this game. In this game I'm gonna put a lot of eggs in one basket, and the rest of the team's gonna kind of set up for the basket I do go with. But Steelium Z lets me hit things like Gligar, which is of course important, and the rest pretty much self-explanatory. Oh, speed on this thing, also for Kira. You know, that Pokemon, you always got to keep pressure on it. You can't let the thing get breaky, because when it gets breaky, you're going to have some frustrations. But here we go with the battle. Let's get this show on the road. It's showtime. So he is going to lead off with his, well, I'm going to lead off with my Zygarde, and he's going to lead off with his Kyurem Black. Interestingly, my Zygarde comes out first, so he's not Scarfed. That's interesting to note. I've got the Yachi Berry. I decided I just kind of wanted to Dragon Dance. Especially with him seeing me coming out first, he knows that he is not faster. Most likely we're actually tied, I would guess. So he may want to switch out. And if he does attack me, I would survive an attack. So I'm just going to go for my Dragon Dance here. He is going to go right for his Ice Beam, assuming it would force me out. Most often it would, so. But here I decide to go for my Outrage as he switches out. Brings in Gligar, fully physically defensive. He's taking that too well. I'm going to go for another Outrage, force him to roost up. Unfortunately, I'm going to be on a 3-turn Outrage. A 2-turn would have been much better, but he does get another roost here. I'm going to become confused. Here, I'm going to switch out into my Blastoise, which can potentially pressure him. But he makes a good play and collects a U-turn, so this gets tricky. He brings in his Uxie. That's not going to force me out. I'm just going to go for a Water Pulse, get damage. If he gets rocks up, I can spin them away. He goes for a Yawn. That thing pestered me last time, so I'm not too surprised to see it again. I'm going to go into my Zygarde here because I think he could potentially get up rocks. Even if he doesn't, not the end of the world. This can just kind of let me get some damage on it, potentially get it in range of my Water Pulse. He goes into Gligar, and we have some fun here with Outrage and Roost. This is a relevant turn, actually. He roosts here, and I'm going to get confused here, but I'm going to predict him to click U-turn, so I'm actually going to try to go for an Outrage. Unfortunately, I'm going to get confused. I will not get that damage on Gligar, which would have been useful for it, but he brings in his Uxie here, and I am going to want to go into my Blastoise, just get a chunk off on that thing, and it can't do too much back to me. He goes into his Gastrodon. I was not going to make anything aggressive on that, just collecting the attack on what's in front of me. Okay, so here I go for the Water Pulse. In the following turn, my thought process is that he's got to think that it's very possible that I have a grass move. It's also possible I have Toxic. Don't think you don't want to leave Gastrodon in on here. I'm actually going to make a play that's a little aggressive. I'm thinking he might want to go into Kyurem to keep up the pressure on me, and I'm actually going to go for Dragon Pulse. It also does hit Gastrodon, so there's a little bit of a hedge in that play. He's going to Scald and burn me. And I'm just going to go for my Hidden Power Grass now. I know he's going to be Rindo because I didn't see lefties, but it's nice to pop that thing for Bulu. He's going to recover up here. So he's seen Hidden Power Grass. At this point, I'm under the assumption that he is going to be forced to switch out here. And considering that I've attacked this thing with Dragon Pulse and Hidden Power Grass, I'm actually thinking he has a pretty decent chance in wanting to go into Klefki here, and then potentially pivot into something. So I went for another aggressive play here with Water Pulse. No, I went for Spin. I did go for Water Pulse later, I promise you. I went for a Spin there. This turn, I'm going to go for Water Pulse, and I've explained that. Spin was pretty self-explanatory. He does decide to leave the Gastrodon in, which I thought was pretty weird. The reason I thought it was pretty weird is because looking at his team, he's got Uxie and Gastrodon, which can come in on Nidoqueen. The rest kind of get jacked up by it a little too much. And Klefki always lets Nidoqueen in for free, so I thought he definitely would have wanted to keep the thing healthy. Not so much, but anyway, I am going to lose my Blastoise there, unfortunately. I'm going to bring in my Bulu here in on the Gastrodon, and I'm going to switch right out into Nidoqueen. Last time he brought a Rocky Helmet Klefki, and I think there's a very high chance of it again, so I'm not going to play those games. I'm just going to get up my rocks with Nidoqueen. Unfortunately, I'm playing from behind here. Oh, that's a turn I need to explain. Unfortunately, I'm playing from behind here, 4-6, but I do still have a lot of win conditions in the back, so I'm just going to continue playing towards those. And getting up my rocks does help me with that, particularly Bulu potentially looking threatening to him. I think that he's going to go for Earth Power here, so I'm going to make an aggressive play right into my Hawlucha. And the reason I was so sure he would go for Earth Power, he does really force Nidoqueen out. Looking at the 4 Mons I have, obviously only Cobalion takes Ice Beam. I thought he would go for Earth Power because not only does it hit Nidoqueen far too well, it hits the Cobalion switching, which is my only Ice Resist. So I was very confident he would click the Earth Power here, and I'm going to go into my Hawlucha. I do use up my thing here. I'm going to go for a Substitute, and that helps me if he potentially wants to go into something like his Klefki, which is a possibility. Could also see something like Gastro, I guess, if we wanted to try to clear Smog me. But I will sub up here. He actually wants to leave this thing in, which is surprising to me. Because depending on his set, he doesn't really take a high jump kick, but he's actually going to show to be Chople, which again, very good prep on his behalf. And he's going to get my Hawlucha there. Without the Chople, it would have dropped. So here, I'm going to bring in my Cobalion. And the score at 6-3 is not looking so good. I'm going to right here and make an aggressive play. Bring in my Cobalion on the Kyurem and go right for my setup here. He goes down to his Gligar, and I'm going to go for the Rock Polish. Sword Stance. He brings on the Gligar. Now I'm going to click Rock Polish. And I'm going for it right now. I'm trying to go for it. He clicks his Earthquake. I'm just going to go right for my Stealing Z. I'm going to get a crit, and the crit didn't matter because it would have 100% been in range if my Zygarde didn't hurt itself in confusion. He's going to bring in his Klefki here. I know he's going to try and T-Wave me here, and I'm actually going to go for my Rock Polish to make sure I'm still faster than his whole team, particularly Lopunny. He's going to switch out into Uxie here as I go for my... I tried to go for my Iron Head anyway, but I'm going to get confounded by that T-Wave, which is the most annoying move in the game. I go for my Iron Head. He's going to hit me with Psychic, but I still got some health left. Trying to go for another one. Fortunately, not held back by Paralysis. The Uxie's going to go down. He brings in his Lopunny here, which is a little bit surprising to me at first. But I realized what he's trying to do with his Fake Out. Unfortunately, I kind of chicken out here while clicking my Close Combat. It's kind of a chicken out in that Iron Head wouldn't have taken out Lopunny, and potentially by dropping my defense, I let him take me out with 2 Fake Outs. But I do wind up chickening out a little bit and going for my Close Combat. And I'm going to get hit by the Rocky Helmet. I'm definitely in range of a Fake Out now. Brings in the Gastrodon. He has to save his Klefki. That's a good play by him. I'm going to unfortunately get hit twice by Paralysis, which it's a little bit annoying, but I want to say about the Paralysis, there were a few relevant Paralyses on that, but I'm not really going to get mad about them because I set up in front of a Mon that paralyzed me, so there were a lot of turns where I was potentially risking Thunder Wave, and I just kind of set up thinking, I'll see how far Paralysis lets me go, and That was in my head here. But anyway, I bring in my Bulu on the gas shot. I'm just going to click my Horn Leech. Nothing really comes in too easily on this thing. Well, nothing comes in at all on this thing. He brings in his Klefki. Of course, I'm going to predict the Thunder Wave and go into my Nidoqueen. But he's going to make a good play and go into his Kyurem. I absolutely have no choice here. I can't go into my Bulu, so I have to just stay in and attack the thing. I do live in Ice Beam. I get frozen, but I'm going to thaw out right away. That would have been interestingly annoying, but I'm going to get a little grassy terrain here, but it will not save me from this next Ice Beam. And Kyurem's from Earth Power, it's now definitely in range of Horn Leech, but I do make a mistake here. I'm going to click Horn Leech. I should click Zen Headbutt, and it's not really going to change anything, but afterwards I kind of thought about that turn and realized I made a mistake here. At this point in the game, I'm just anxious. I'm just anxious. He was taking a little bit to click his moves throughout the whole Cobalion thing, and I'm just like, I just want to see how this is going to end. I just want to see it, so I'm clicking quick because he's clicking slow, and I just want to get through it. So I click Horn Leech. I should have clicked Zen Headbutt, and the reason is I wasn't thinking about his Fake Out, should I say, and without Fake Out, Horn Leech would have been able to get me out. With this Lopunny, I would have been able to take return, go for my Horn Leech, get out of range of the second return, and then take the thing out. But I forgot about Fake Out coming first. I should have went for Zen Headbutt and risked the roll against Lopunny with that. But anyway here, I'm going to go for the Horn Leech, take out the Kyurem. He's going to bring out the Klefki here. And he actually has to land this T-Wave here if his Lopunny is adamant. He does land it. Horn Leech, take the Klefki out. Get annoyed by the Rocky Helmet. He's going to come in and he's going to fake me out, but since I'm locked into Horn Leech, the Fake Out in return is definitely going to be able to secure this for him, since my Horn Leech won't be able to take him out. And my boy Common's going to end up winning and getting the promotion. Congratulations to him. He definitely deserved a big win here. He had very solid prep on his team. The Choppel on the Kyurem, the Rindo with the Gastro, Rocky Helmet, Klefki. He had quite a few things that made this an already tricky matchup. He had a few things to create some obstacles for the things I did have that looked nice in the matchup. And all the props to him. I wish him good luck as he moves on to the final battle against Count. And I will be cheering for him, because if I'm going to lose to someone, they better win the goddamn thing. I'm not losing to some random bozo who drops the finals game right after beating me. And yeah, that's going to be it. Of course, I'm always a sore loser. Not my favorite thing, but you know what? I mean, I should have clicked the Zen Headbutt at the end, but you saw the Fake Out and return KO'd me anyway. I think I, for the most part, played the game the way I should have. I don't think, aside from that, there were many clear mistakes on my behalf, and I do think I prepped the way I needed to, kind of putting my eggs in the basket, trying to bring out a sweep that is able to win in a matchup that I didn't think Balance could have won reliably. And my opponent he brought solid prep on his end, and it was able to top me. So it can't really bother me too much, because I don't think I really made that bad of a mistake. I think I played the way I needed to, and he just came out on top. So that's gonna be it for this video. I will be returning for next season, so whenever that gets started, you guys are gonna see some more LD videos, but there will be a bit of an off season, so I don't know exactly when that will be. But I hope to see you guys again then. I want to thank you for watching. Have yourselves a good night.